Greetings, my friends, and happy Tuesday. And today I'm going to be returning to Drak reviews. It's been a while, and we actually have our first review of the year, which was an unlikely game. But as soon as I saw trailers for it, I had to at least get my hands on it. So today we're going to be doing a Drak reviews for Power Rangers Mega Battle. So let's go ahead and start things off with the story. The story is really simple because this is a beat-em-up game. So if you're expecting a more complex plot, beat-em-ups rarely ever have that. The plot is pretty much summed up in this. Rita Repulsa is trying to take over the planet. She's starting to use magical towers to be able to bring down Putty Patrol and take over the world. And you are the Power Rangers, and you're there to stop them. I don't know if I can sum it up better than that. The story's not very long. It's pretty much summed up in about 6 missions with like 3 submissions within each. So... And it pretty much kind of encapsulates like a Power Rangers episode. You start things off, then things heat up with the monster, and then eventually you'll have your Megazord struggle and then move things on. So, as far as story is concerned, I'll at least give it props. I think it did a good job for a simplistic beat-em-up. And I'm not going to hold too many things against the story because story's not really where this game shines. It's gameplay because it's a beat-em-up. So let's go ahead and move on into the visuals. The visuals are very much like a web game. Okay, I'm not going to lie to people and say these are the greatest things ever. This is the ultimate Unreal Engine 4 moment. Ah! No, it's really not that. It's very much a web game. In fact, it very much looks like the same people who did Castle Crashers did this game. I have not been able to confirm because it's Bamtang Studios instead of I can't even remember their names off the top of my head, but it's not the Castle Crashers company. So, but it very much looks like how that would operate, except maybe a little bit more advanced because the models in this game do look a little bit more polished, look a little bit more complex than the simplistic ideas that were put forth in Castle Crashers. So I will give this props for its visuals, but if you were expecting like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a game that would be slightly higher than it. I don't know, like a beat-em-up game. If you were thinking the last Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, this is definitely not that. But I actually do like the style. I think it fits very, very, very well, and it plays very much like the old school Power Rangers beat-em-ups. So at that point, it's more of a nostalgia trip than anything else. So I will give it props, but it's not really a game changer. Gameplay is really where this game tries to shine a little bit, because again, it's based more along the lines of Castle Crashers, except with a couple of twists. You can level up in the game. You can't necessarily get new weapons or anything like that because it's the Power Rangers. You have your designated weapons. What they instead do with the leveling up is you get talents. So I know a lot of games now are starting to incorporate talent systems, and this one's no different. And it actually incorporates them fairly well. So there are 3 trees, but I haven't really been able to find too much that changes between them, aside from one of them is for like your weapon combos, one of them is, the middle one is for your hyper combo finishes, so to speak, and the fact that you can empower your own, or you can empower being able to work with your fellow other players, and then the other one is just more of a general stats one. In other words, the place where all your defense and all your stamina, all of your energy and all of your HP went. So, not really the most complex talent system, but I'll buy it. I actually like the fact that they give you kind of, instead of talent points, it's called Ranger coins, and with each level up, it gets bigger on how much they'll actually give you, and the points are fairly easy to get. In fact, I actually think after a couple of playthroughs, I could max out at least one character with the amount of Ranger coins that I actually get. So... And I'm thinking that with multiple playthroughs, this thing gets harder. So that would help even more. But overall, yeah, the gameplay is very sound. I've been able to mess around with the weapon combos and the hyper combo finishes and all that stuff. And they're all very entertaining. This game is very much for Power Rangers nostalgia. And it feeds on that. So I actually had fairly good props for that one as well. It's probably the best element of the entire game. Because I'm not saying that the visuals have been bad. You know, they're web game kind of deals, but the gameplay is really where this game, where a lot of love and attention was put into it. As far as audio is concerned, this is where it gets a little... Actually, one quick thing with the gameplay that I forgot to mention, and it is where I did take down a notch. The Ranger gameplay is awesome. The Megazord gameplay is absolutely something to be desired. It is not good. So basically, with the Ranger gameplay, you get beat 'em up style, and you would think you would get that with the Zords too. No. The Zord battles can basically be summed up in two phases. One is the Megazord battle tank, which is Star Fox or insert rail shooter here, like Area 51, Lethal Enforcer, stuff like that. It plays very much like that and is not really all that impressive. Then the second phase is Megazord mode, and Megazord mode is a glorified QuickTime event. That was absolutely disappointing. But I can get where a lot of people had the conflict of how do you pick who plays the Megazord. And a lot of people have actually come up with some good ideas. Like you roll for it, like there's a digital roller in the game, and the game will tell you who won, and that person gets to pilot the Megazord. That actually would have been a better idea than what we got, which was basically everybody plays the same QuickTime event, and if one person fails, we all suffer because of it. I just don't like that concept. So if I did take this thing, take a couple of points off, it was because of the Megazord mode. It's one of those things that if they did like a future patch for this, I would want them to fix. I want to be able to control the Megazord. So back into the audio. Again, audio is not really all that impressive. The audio, or the music rather, I think tries to be both its own thing as well as variations on Ron Wasserman's score. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily standout either. In fact, in a lot of cases, one of the bugs that we came across, so I played this on my own, but I also played it with Andrea to be able to get a multiplayer experience. We actually noticed, like when we were playing, there were points where music was completely not there. It was silent. And so that was kind of disappointing, but the music wasn't as exactly standout either. Like it wasn't making us sing or hum the tunes that we love from Power Rangers. And as far as the voice work is concerned, it's not really all that impressive either. In fact, it sounds to me like they basically got a bunch of clips from the show. And I understand you can't get the voice actors to come back and do ADR for this game, but at that point, I actually would have preferred just like having dialogue balloons instead of having that, because in some cases, like it does sound like Rita and it does sound like Zordon or Tommy. There are other times where I kind of sat there and went, "Is that actually?" When they say the morphs, it sounds right, but then there are other lines where I'm like, that doesn't sound like the best line that you could have gone out and grabbed. So audio had some marks taken off of it, but obviously mainly for the music. I don't really have too much to complain about with the voiceover. I'm at least glad that they tried to do it, but the music is really where this could have been a lot better. As far as replay value and presentation, replay value is probably where this shines because again, its gameplay is awesome, and even though there is only 6 missions, it would be really awesome if Bamtang got enough of a reception that maybe they added an extra one. I do know that DLC is coming soon, I believe around the time when the movie releases, where they actually will let you have different character models, not the Rangers, but the character models will reflect the other 3 or the other 2 seasons of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So, for example, Zach can be changed out for Adam, Kimberly can be swapped out for Catherine, Trini for Aisha, Jason for Rocky, and you can also get an alternate Billy outfit, and then an alternate Tommy, which basically allows access to the White Ranger instead of the Green Ranger. And I do like that concept. So I have a feeling that I will probably show that off in a future video of some kind. But it would also be awesome if, like, later DLC patches, again, if this game got a great reception, wouldn't it be great if we got additional DLC that allowed us the movie Ranger outfits and maybe even movie character models for all the for like Jason, Zach, Trini, and all them. Or, I even said this to Andrea, I actually think this would be one of those games where you could go even further, add an extra episode where they're dealing with a new villain, say King Mondo, and you could do the Zeo outfits instead and actually have like those character models come back. Because like there isn't much difference between White Ranger Tommy and Red Ranger Tommy. They look kind of the same. So you could probably make that work. All you'd be doing is changing the Ranger outfit, which I wouldn't have a problem with. So overall, I think there's tons of replay, or there's at least a little bit of replay value here. Probably not for years to come, but at least to make you go through the game a couple of times, max out a few characters, and relive your Power Rangers nostalgia. Presentation. Does this come together to be the most awesome Power Rangers experience ever? Not really. Like I said, the music is sometimes non-existent, if very, very generic. The visuals in some levels are okay. I loved all the alien stuff, but all the angel growth stuff is like, we've seen that before. The gameplay is really what makes this game shine, and the story is just as corny as any Power Rangers episode you've seen. So I will say it's about halfway there, but it's not entirely the most awesome game that we could have gotten out of this. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and give this game a solid 7 out of 10. It is a C-worthy effort. The gameplay is really what makes it shine, but for a nostalgic experience, the audio is so easy to fix. Go put on a Power Rangers episode and just let the music play while you're going through the level. Or if you have like one of the old soundtracks from Ron Wasserman, let that play and you can easily fix that problem. So yeah, 7 out of 10. It's a solid C effort. I look forward to seeing what Bamtang does in the future with maybe future content updates. Like I said, maybe give us a movie update, a Zeo update, a Turbo update. I'd even tolerate a Turbo update. And I would continue to come back and try out the new costumes and see what other changes they made to it. But yeah, that's going to go ahead and do it for this Drak Reviews. I know it's a little bit shorter than usual, but we covered all the details. And yeah, so if you guys want to check this out, feel free to go ahead and do so. It's about a $15 game on PS4 and Xbox One. So a little more expensive than I would probably want to pay for it, but given what I've played of it, I think it's worth that effort as long as we get more consistent updates. And that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. So thank you guys so much for joining me on the reviews for 2017. Thank you guys so much for continuing to subscribe, like, and comment on all the stuff that I do. I love you guys. You guys help me to be able to become a better YouTuber each and every day. And of course, I will see you guys next time for the next video.